Three, two, one. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34, and tonight I have a very special guest. Bryan, the homie, is in the building. How you doing, Bryan?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. I mentioned off camera, it's Wednesday. Feeling like getting over the hump. 2 more days. I know, and we all kind of had like an extra day off this week. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to the weekend. But let me just continue rolling with the introduction. For the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, we do some intro questions, some warm-up questions just to set the tone. And then afterwards, we'll jump into the main portion. We turn to the Wheel of Fate. Something I don't know if you're familiar with, but you don't have to choose your numbers anymore. We can just spin the wheel. And then after that, we'll finish everything in the final stretch with some concluding questions. Sound good to you, Bryan?
Ooh, sounds fun.
All right, boss. Well, my very first question for you is, how have you been? It's been a crazy couple years. And I like to start off this question just because I think everyone's had similar but also unique kind of journeys throughout this whole time. So how you been lately?
Dude, I love how you phrased it. You're just like, we got unique journeys, and that's really cool. But in regards to myself, it's been a crazy roller coaster. I've been going through some peaks, and right now I'm going through some lows. But other than that, life is fucking amazing, dude. I'm enjoying the fuck out of it. I'm sorry. Can I cuss?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just want people to be themselves. Don't feel like you got to censor yourself at all. So cuss as much as you want if that's how you talk. I have no problem with it. But yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're doing well. Like for yourself, do you feel like your ups and your highs and lows are more like closer together versus like spread apart? You know how like for me, I would say maybe my highs last for about 4 months or so, and then I'll have maybe like a month of like down, and then another good 4 months. That's like kind of my groove. How about for yourself?
Honestly, that's a good question, because I see myself like very high for a month and then low for I guess a couple days and just stagnant. But I always try to stay mentally up here, like always, for sure. My body may be sad, but I'm always like just trying to keep up.
I got you. Well, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. We made it to the warm-up phase, since that's just my first question, so I feel like it's a question that people get asked all the time, but I really hope my guests come on and like really say how they've been, right? But yeah, now we made it to the warm-up, and my first warm-up question for you is, what would you like the audience to know about you?
Let's see. Damn, that's a good ass question. Is this for us a warm up question? Damn.
Yeah, these are warm ups, man. I have homies who tell me like, bro, you starting off too strong, and I'm like, these are the easy ones.
That's a good ass question, dude. I really don't know. Let's see. I guess I'm like, man. Damn it, dude. This is a good ass question. Yeah. I wasn't expecting this. Okay. So I guess, I mean, I do a podcast myself. Very low quality right now since I am just starting, but it's not, going through as of right now because technical issues. But I guess if you're more so of like wanting to know about like spiritual mindset type stuff, that's kind of my thing right now, and I do all that type of stuff on Instagram, which I'm not sure if I'm allowed to plug it, but
yeah. If you want to plug it now, go ahead. You can plug it later, plug it now, it's up to you.
So it's pretty much my name, Bryan Hernandez, but with an LM in front of it. That's just me talking about life and try to get people to feel as happy as I feel, but currently I'm not as happy, so I'm trying to keep it to myself,
Oh yeah, I've definitely had those moments, and that is interesting, right? Like when we're happier, we're like more outgoing, and then when we're sad, we're like very, very introverted. I think a lot of people sometimes, not everybody, but can shape their personality based on that, right? Like, oh, I'm an introvert, so this is how I am, or I'm an extrovert, this is how I am. When like, I think we're both at different times. Like, you know, there's groups of people who can make me an introvert, and then, but that would just mean like the majority of people make me an introvert. So it's really like who I happen to be with, right? But yeah, for sure. Any other things you wanted to add to that before we move on?
Dude, I mean, I'm as boring as I could get. I mean, I got my charm, but I'm just like any other person. I don't got much to say.
And but that's the dope thing, man. That's the dope thing, is that you are who you are. And I don't think you think that's boring. And you know I don't think that's boring. So there's more people like us out there too. And that's why we do what we do, right? Second question for you then is, if someone were to pay you a tribute, how would you like to be honored? So if I was gonna tell myself, you know, I'm gonna do something in the honor of Bryan, what act could I do for you?
Bro, are you sure these are warm-ups? Okay. I really don't know, dude, because I haven't attributed much to this life. I have just tried to instill positivity onto others and try to make people happy. But if I were to like pass away and someone else wanted to do something on behalf of my name, I guess just do the same thing. But everyone should do that. Spread positivity and love. And that's pretty much it. Nothing materialistic. Just try to be you always.
For sure. Now we know at least that that's what you stand for, and that's what we could do for you. And I never mentioned that you were gonna pass away. You know, maybe you moved away, and like, you know, the people in your family and friends just want to be like, yo, it's Bryan's birthday. Let's spread some positivity. You know, that's how I think of this. You know, being hopefully. But yeah, for sure. Now we know what to do. And it's funny that, all right, I'll see what you feel about this last warm-up question, and I'll tell you why it's kind of structured this way. But on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
So since we're always continually growing at my current state, I would say like a 7 or 8.
Okay.
Actually, I know myself so fucking well. I know that there's still more to learn, so I don't know myself that fucking well. If that makes sense, you know?
No, that makes sense. Yeah, I got you. For sure. Well, what just makes you feel like you know yourself so well?
I've spent a lot of time up in here, like with my thoughts, because earlier this year, I had this like condition called a vestibular migraine, which is like vertigo, you know, the dizziness, and then a lot of ringing, and I couldn't really do shit but stay with my thoughts. It was for like 5 months. I was stuck doing nothing but thinking. You know, I had a lot of like depressive thoughts, and especially with like a breakup that happened years ago. So I had to deal with all that shit, and of course I had to learn how to be with myself. So in that time, I gained the skills and the knowledge to know me. So self-talk was a big thing, and like, since it's me, I know what I want to hear. So of course I tell me what I want to hear, because other people don't know exactly what I want to hear. And this is a little cherry on top, but I've done a lot of psychedelics, and that's a lot of mindfulness right there. So that's another part of why I know myself pretty well.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. I have done psychedelics as well, and I can't wait till I do them again, because it's been a while. But yeah, it definitely gives you, I mean, what's it called? Our third eye? I don't know. I don't want to refer to that, but yeah, I was just explaining this to another guest, because I had somebody on here that was it was like a neuro, something to do with how psychedelics affect your brain. He was studying that in college, and yeah, like we had this whole talk about it, and I was just telling him my experience the first time when I really, really felt it. I don't know what your dosage is, but at the time it was like, I'll take a whole eighth of shrooms for like, you know, 6 to 8 hours, right? But yeah, it just really made me feel like why am I tripping about anything in my life?
Dude.
I'm just like, everything is just, way bigger than us, right? It's like
Yeah.
all what we can control is that energy we give out, the people that we affect, like on our daily lives, strangers or people that we know. And it's just like, yeah, that's the focus has shifted for me. Like, and I don't know what I would diagnose with myself growing up, but I was pretty depressed, like, going from sixth grade to 12th grade. And and it wasn't until I went to college and had my own experiences there that things were getting better. And then that shroom trip around my 20s really kind of like put it over top and just made me feel like, all right, let me focus on what I think is more important than what I was tripping off before, but yeah, so I think that's why maybe you think we vibe, or you vibe with what I'm doing. We have those similar experiences, I think.
Yeah, man, when you said 6th grade to 12th grade, I was like, dude, that sounds just like me. It's like, in that period of time, I was like at my lowest. Like, no friends. Well, I knew people knew me, but I didn't hang out with people, or they didn't hang out with me either because I didn't want to, or they didn't want to. Probably me. But yeah, man, it definitely shaped me to who I am. And because of that lack of people energy, it pushed me towards drug use just to fit in,
I got you, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't think our stories are as unique. Like, there's a bunch of us, and I'm always going to refer to that. Like, there are people out there who can feel this, and hopefully they get a chance to listen to it someday. But yeah, I got you. Well, a follow-up to that last question is basically, what would you say is your favorite thing about your personality?
It's a good question, dude. I swear these aren't warm-ups. I swear they're like mid-tier. Like, we're halfway through your podcast questions. I guess my confidence. Like, I confidently do things stupidly or well. I just go for it. Not all the times, because there's those low times where I'm lightweight insecure, but I still go for it as best as I can. But I'm still trying to improve that confidence self.
For sure. Do you have that irrational belief that you're gonna make it?
Irrational? What do you mean?
This is just how I feel about it. I've also, something you probably, maybe you heard in the podcast, my old podcast before, but I've had like 15 jobs in like 10 years. Always keep moving, always moving along, because I have this irrational belief that I'm gonna make it. Like, I made these choices because it's like, it's okay, I can leave, because wherever I'm at next, I can succeed, or I can do whatever I need to do to do it. So I think that's pretty irrational. Like, and I can see, and I don't like to compare myself, but I can't help it. So when I see everybody else doing their thing and moving up in life, like upgrading and whatnot, it's because they're able to realize they should stay and do something. But sometimes people stay because they don't believe they can move on and do different things. So for me, that's what I meant by irrational belief, that whatever I do, I think I can figure it out and succeed, But yeah,
I feel that part where you said, you could succeed at something you're at, but I don't know, dude. I try not to think about it so much.
For sure.
But I feel like I could, if I actually apply myself. That's like the only thing. If I apply myself, I could do it.
Yeah. I mean, I truly believe it. I truly believe that. But all right, man. Well, you mentioned how these questions are like, pretty deep, or they should be in the middle of the podcast. But I don't know, man. I think I wanted to make these specifically the warm-up questions, is because, like, I think these might be the most important things I could ask if someone were to listen to like this, the first first bit, first 15, first 20, like this is what I want people to know about my guests. they think of themselves, how we could honor them, because that's the driving force of this too. Is I never got to know my grandparents, and I don't think, you know, a lot of people get to know their past ancestors and whatnot. But if we can say, yo, how can we, you know, pay tribute to you, and you can actually vocalize it, it's like, well, we'll forever know now. Like, you know, your descendants gonna be like, yo, man, I'm not a positive person, but because, you know, my great great uncle, great great grandfather was, I gotta do it for him today, you know, whatever. So yeah, and then the scale from 1 to 10, how well you know yourself. That I think, if I could, and it wasn't too, like, you know, off-putting for a lot of folks, this would be my icebreaker question for a lot of people. It's like, on a scale from 1 to 10, like, how well do you know yourself? Like, because like yourself, I've been in my head for a long time, and I don't think, like, I honestly still give myself a 5, because I try to give myself a lot of space to grow and change and all that stuff, and, you know, to surprise myself. But yeah, so that's the reason why those are the questions. And yeah, let's jump into the main portion where we spin the wheel. You ready?
Yeah, man.
All right, so just as a reminder, whatever it lands on, there's 3 levels: easy, medium, and hard. We got number 10. Where would you like to go?
Like
easy, medium, or hard?
10?
Yeah. No, easy, medium, or hard.
Let's do medium, just like your warm-up questions.
Okay. Medium, number 10. And remember, if there's any questions that you'd rather not answer, feel free. This one is, what is something people generally dislike about you?
That's a good question. I want to know that too. I genuinely want to know that too. I don't know. I really don't know, dude. That's like a big part of, like, that's a missing piece of, I guess, like the high school thing I told you about. I really don't know. I mean, in regards to women, like being clingy, but in general, I don't know. I really don't know. But, you know, the whole clinginess, like, you know, that's a bit too much. Why be clinging on to one person when there's other people? But I really don't know. That's, I want to know.
Yeah,
I
man.
would love it.
I mean, it is interesting. It's not like I go around asking my friends, like, yo, man, what do you hate about me? Or like, it's not something people bring up, right? But yeah, it is something where, like, you can't like everything, because I don't know about you, you have supportive people around you and, you know, trying to always bring you up. But in my mind, I'm just like, I'm not that all the time, or there's got to be something. And honestly, people have told me what they dislike about me, as far as like, I'm a fast eater, bro. Like, I grew up not caring how I ate, and people think it's kind of, you know, have bad manners sometimes. But I'm like, fuck, you know, like, this is how I eat, so I'm super conscious about it. But yeah, that's one thing about me. And what's another thing? I laugh after a lot of things that I say. Maybe I won't do it on this podcast a lot, but you can tell in person that, like, I just end up laughing after everything I say. And I don't know if that's annoying, but hey, it's like a catchphrase for me. I'll laugh. But yeah, there you go.
Hey, that's what makes you you. That's a part of your character, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I'm coming to fully embrace it. But do you mind me asking about, you know, the clinginess? Like, I think there was a time where I was also seen as being clingy with, like, a partner. And yeah, I mean, for you, you think, like, well, how, in general, how did you feel about it in the moment, and how do you feel about it now, like, after the moment?
So I'm gonna tell you this right now. You know how people say they're an open book? I wouldn't necessarily I'm an open book. I'm like a window. You could see right through me, see whatever is, I guess, inside of me, and then you can see a bit of yourself in me. So, because, you know, when you see a window, you see a bit of yourself. But in regards to the clinginess, during the relationships, I don't see it as clingy. I see it as like, I just want to be with you. Let me have your time. I want to be around you. I want that love type thing. And now that I say that, that's like, that sounds a bit toxic. But it's I kind of get it now, since I haven't had too much experience in like the relationship world. People do need their own time and space. So women in general, like I said, they like their own space. They like the attention, but you know, they don't want it all the time. They say they do, but they don't, which, you know, I've learned, and now I've learned to keep my distance from them to keep that attraction. So clinginess to me, like, now is, I still do it, I'm not gonna lie, because I did lack attention growing up, so I still look for that attention that from women, since, you know, I just grew up with my mom, so, you know, it kind of makes sense right there. But let's see. I'm sorry.
You good, man. You good, man. And let me just say, man, I appreciate you opening up about this. It's super not easy to, and yeah, mad respect. But go ahead, continue.
I honestly feel like we should all be open, dude. Like I said, the whole window thing, because it just expels the energy and it doesn't keep you dwelling. But again, with the clinginess, like, I do now see that it was a toxic trait of mine, just trying to get attention. But now, you know, like at the time, it was like no big deal. Just they like me, they probably want me around. But now I see it's like, no, don't do too much, you know. That's bad
for sure. And I mean, it's that's the funny thing about relationships, is because like there's gonna be different needs and different things that, you know, people are looking for in a relationship. What's clingy to one person might not be clingy to another person, and I guess that's the kind of choice we gotta make, you know, as far as changing ourselves, right? Like if you really truly feel like, you know, it wasn't being clingy, and you find somebody to be with that accepts that and like actually enjoys it, then that's great. But if it's hard to find that person, then you'd have to kind of make that choice to change, so you know, you could find somebody that more compatible. And yeah, I think that in itself is such a crazy experience, you know, just trying to find a relationship that either works with you, or you got to change to, you know, find something that could work easier. But yeah, that was my rant, 2 cents.
Hey, no worries, dude. It's your podcast. Put in your 2 cents, put in your $1, dude. Like, it's all you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's us, bro. It's us. That's the one thing about like this podcast, man. I know. I mean, I'm gonna talk to you like I'm on your podcast, just cause, you know, this was that in my mind this was gonna happen. But yeah, it's us, and I've done a lot of things in my past. Like this is probably my 3rd big project that I really considered, yo, I'm gonna push for this and I'm gonna give it a shot. And my previous 2 podcasts, or not podcasts, but projects, my first one, I was trying to be a rapper. Like that was my dream growing up, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna do this. I realized there's stuff about me that doesn't fit into the mold of a rapper, so it's hard to like get that marketing whatever traction. Second thing was a clothing brand. Tried to start a clothing brand, and it didn't work out because I'm not really business minded, you know, I'm more people minded. And so those 2 failures, one thing I noticed for those 2 that I want to avoid with this one is that it got wrapped up into my ego, you know. Like being a rapper was because I wanted to be on stage and have a voice and be able to speak to people and like share my story and have people resonate with that. The clothing brand, because I wanted to tell people stories, but because like people always want to know like, oh, whose brand are you wearing, or where'd you get that, I would always have to revert back like, oh yeah, actually it's my brand. And I had to say, I said it enough times where that made me feel uncomfortable. Like, I don't want this to be about me. So 34 Questions isn't about me. It's about us, and it's about everybody else that's been on here. So you won't really see a lot of like stuff like if I post something, I won't try to put 34 questions a part of it, because this will always be two people at least, you know. It's never just gonna be me. But yeah, so
that was smooth, dude. I love how you like compiled ideas into saying it's us. You're like, hey, it's us, and then all of these things back to us. That was fucking smooth, dude. I fucking loved that. That was nice, dude.
Right on, man. I'm gonna have to clip this because I'm really bad at promoting myself, which is why I'm not a rapper. But yeah, if you say it, so I'm gonna listen back to that, and if I have to, I'll cut it up and do something as a little promo. But right on, man, right on. And that's because, you know, you had asked your question, or you let me do my thing. That's how it comes out. But let's go ahead.
Dude,
and
honestly,
yeah, go for it.
I don't mean to cut you off, but like I like hearing words. Words to me nowadays, dude, they hit different. So if you say you're gonna clip that, that's like taking away from your character. Let people see you, dude. Like, I like you. Like, no homo, nothing like that.
No, I got you, bro. I got you.
You're hella chill, dude. Like I said earlier, like I really wanted you on my podcast, but then, you know, a bunch of other podcasts, and it got annoying, and then, you know, I started doing all these shoots, and then the rendering, and then all this and that, and now I'm just like, damn, I got the opportunity, now it's all kind of shitty for me. And in that podcast, I want you to be you, unapologetically.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, no, I've been saying that word a lot too, so I had to practice.
I appreciate you. So like, it's just be you, dude. People love when you're you. There's this certain energy that it's expelled off of you, and like, I don't know, like those words you spoke, if I'm the only one that heard it, it's like, damn, I'm blessed to hear something so, I guess, artistic due to lack of words, because you generally said, hey, this is about us. And then you're like, man, I tried being a rapper, that didn't work out. I tried doing a clothing brand, that didn't work out. Now it's 34, and then this is us. And I'm like, damn. You sure could have been a rapper, because I mean, that didn't rhyme, but that flowed well.
Damn, man, right on. It's I'm glad you're perceiving it that way, and thank you for the juice. This is what really makes me believe, you know, because we all have those days when we don't believe, and to hear it from other folks, I think, is what keeps me going, and what makes me feel like this is right, you know. Like 34 questions feels like the thing that is gonna get me to the place where I want to be, and hopefully for everybody else to be a part of it too. I don't know if you heard, you ever looked up like who has the most podcast episodes, like the Guinness World Record of podcasts?
Have not.
There's no one who's claimed it so far. Like, so in my mind, I'm like, well, if I can just get a crazy amount of number, like a crazy number, I'm gonna just submit it to Guinness and be like, tell me who else has done this with this many people, you know, and like, and then I could get your name and every other guest name in that book, just because, you know, it's all of us. So that would be amazing.
I love that ambition, dude.
Yeah. Right on, man. Right on. Well, let's give this another spin. See where it lands.
Ooh.
29. Alrighty. Sticking with medium?
Yeah, let's go to medium.
29. What is out of your control?
People like you.
For sure.
I mean, outside of circumstances, like I don't know, meteors. That's a I guess rational fear of mine. A meteor coming down, striking me. So stuff outside of me.
For sure. When you said people, I'm curious if you could sway our world and society in one way or another, which idea would you want everyone to kind of have, like, be on the same page about, you know?
Bro, okay. I have this theory that I'm going to share with you.
Awesome.
That's
I'm
like
ready.
that kind of coincides with this question, but I feel like I could get hit or something. But this is a very, very long billion-year project. So if we all, like everyone on Earth, got to like the same mindset, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter, because if we're all thinking the same, it's good. So if we all hate, that's a good thing, because we all think hate is good. So when everyone on Earth gets together to think in one way, we're one step closer to just getting unified with like the rest of the universe, because I believe there's life out there. Obviously there has to be, because the universe is big, this and that. So we all together got together and thought one thing. We all literally just have this one mindset, whether it's good or bad. It's like fuck, like dude, I genuinely feel like that's bound to happen. It's gonna take millions, billions of years, but like everyone's gonna be on the same thought, and that's when the world universe ends, when we all think one.
So I don't want to end the universe, but I was having dinner with some homies, and I was like, you know, when I'm in the mood, I'll have some ideas that I think are good, and I share it with my friends. But the last one I told them about, and you can tell me if this is something the whole world could get behind. What if everyone in the world didn't show up for work on Fridays or school? Like everyone just decided, like, all the way up the chain, we're not working on Fridays. Like and who could stop us? No one in the world could stop. If everyone in the world chose to do this, then that would be the new weekend. It would just change society, right? Like, but we would have to agree. But who wouldn't say no to not going to work or school on a Friday, like, or Monday, Like, I don't know which day would be better to take off, but I think we can do it. I think we could get on the same page. So I don't think in, like, you know, a lot of years, but I think we got to start with the colleges, because it's in the youth, it's in the you guys, it's in the, we tell college students, fuck Fridays, don't go to school. And if the whole nation does it, if the whole world does it on Fridays, it starts something. But anyways, yeah, I don't want to end the universe by getting us on the same page, but I think that's it. And you know, like, my friend was like, well, what if I wanted to go to the movies on Friday, or what if I wanted to, you know, do something? And I told them, I switched it up, and I was like, it could be something where, like, on Fridays is a day where people follow their passions. So if they want to, like, host a movie showing or whatever, they could do it. It's free, but it's because they want to bring people together showing movies. Or that, you know, people just on Friday, you work on your passion, and that's our day for our mental health, you know? So yeah, maybe. What do you think? What do you think about that?
So the whole passion thing, that gives leeway to find, I guess, who you are, in a sense, because a lot of people don't know what they want to do. So that's smart. But like, who's gonna want to be like that movie theater type guy? Like, hey, here's a ticket, all right, let me cut it up type thing, you know? Yeah.
And I'm a movie theater guy, and the way I imagine it is that I'm just gonna get, like, you know, have projectors projected at the park kind of thing, so people can, like, sit down and, you know, catch a movie with their family out there. And, you know, something where it's, like, a little bit creative, and, like, it kind of puts it outside of what we normally think would be going to the movies, you know? But because we can feel someone's passion to do it, like, yo, I'm gonna show you guys Spider-Man 3 on Friday night. It's like, sick. Like, I'll go support this guy, because one, I can do it. I got my free time to do it, and, you know, why not support each other? I think we'll see that more, maybe. I don't know. I'm a, you know, bright side kind of thinker. So I think every idea is a great idea until it gets more fleshed out and people kind of make me be more realistic. But yeah, I mean, I don't know who I can tell. If college students, you guys listening out there, spread the word. Let's make it one Friday out of the school year, and we'll start there. See what happens. I feel like, you know, if it happens one time, it could happen again. So yeah. Anyways, that's just the idea.
Hey, and like you said, who's gonna stop them if a lot of people don't show up? What are they gonna do?
What are they gonna do? But and it's something positive. It's not like we mobbing out there and like looting fucking Target and shit, because who's gonna stop us? It's just taking a day for yourself. But for sure, man. Just a heads up, we got about 20 minutes left in the podcast. So let's go knock out another number.
Ooh. What's that in the middle? Is that like a tiger?
You talking about the one in the black? I know it's hard to see.
The middle?
Oh, the middle. Yeah, that's like a little marble design that I was trying to do.
Okay.
But yeah. It's good. It's a work in progress, I'll tell you that. But number eight. Would you like to stay medium? We could keep going medium. Maybe the next time you come on.
Hard.
Let's do hard? All right.
Yeah, let's see what that is.
All right. So number 8, hard, is what's the last sign you saw for yourself?
Sign?
You know how like we see things in our lives and then we're like, yo, that was a sign. Like it was a sign for me to do this or a sign for me not to do that. Not like a literal stop sign, but like maybe you read something or came across on Instagram. That happens all the time for me. So, but yeah, last sign you seen.
So I guess I don't know if this is a sign per se, but like last night I went to river for a walk at night. Like every now and then I do, but there was this like deer. It was like kind of far away from me, not too far away. It's like I can't really distance it from here, but it's like, let's say 10 feet away from me, and it was like just walking with me. That was like the craziest thing. He was just vibing with me, walking. Deers usually do not walk with me. They either straight up stare at me or they don't move. Well, that's the same thing. They stare and don't move, or they like bounce away type thing. But this one was just straight up vibing with me, walking. And I don't know if that's a sign per se, but it's like, it was pretty cool. But
no, I got you, man. It's special when animals vibe with you. I think that's why we love dogs, because it feels like a lot of dogs vibe with us. And cats, you get that one cat to vibe with you, you feel like a beast. But yeah, no doubt. Like, I don't know, man. Like when you look at maybe not that deer that you saw, but like in other animals, when you look in their eyes, doesn't it almost feel like you can see a soul? Like, I don't know. For me, that's how I usually feel. Like, when I look into like a dog's eyes, I'll be like, yo, bro, like I see your personality. Like I see something, like a life force. So that's why I'm always appreciative if a dog does like, comes up to me without me calling for it. I'm like, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Do you have any pets yourself?
Actually, I have 4 dogs, a rooster, and 3 chickens, and a cat.
Damn, bro, that's what's up. I never got to ask you like what region you're from, like in
Sacramento, California.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know you was I think we did mention in our previous chat that we were both Pacific time. So that's what's up, man. Are you from California? Like, grew up out here and everything?
Still in the same place.
Where would you like to be?
That's actually a good question, dude. That's a good question. I've been doing a bit more traveling, seeing the world more. So it's like, I'm open-minded, so I'm still trying to see something nicer for sure. Because right now I'm in the hood.
I got you. I know Sac can be the hood too. It's not always talked about, I guess, in some circles. But if you know Sac, it's pretty hood. But yeah, let's we got 18 minutes. I don't know, you feeling comfortable now since the beginning of the podcast when you're kind of telling me you had some nerves? Or
yeah, dude, it's just like I'm chilling with you. It just straight up feels like a conversation. Do you actually have like time limits on these podcasts?
So I do an hour because I feel like it's still new, like for a new listener, if I threw out a 3-hour podcast, it'd be like, oh man, who am I listening to, right? So
I gotcha.
Just to begin with, I feel like an hour is a good good length of a conversation, right? Like I don't feel like I'm rushing you, or I don't have to tell people to cut off. Wherever it goes, and yeah. So I don't know. Like, what do you think? Is an hour too short? How do you feel about it?
Actually, I try aiming for that too. An hour is like just right. It's just right
to start off with, for sure. I mean, I've seen some people do 30 minutes, but that I haven't tried to shoot a 30-minute episode. But if I did, it wouldn't feel right to me. Like it wouldn't be as chill and like, you know, easy going, flowing as we are right now. Any questions that you'd like to ask? Because I was looking forward to being on your podcast, man. Just to be the one to be able to answer questions for once.
Hey,
yeah.
we could do that. We could do that. Because I genuinely feel bad, like doing a shoot and then like it's not gonna be out there. Like, because I told you I'm holding on episodes and some of them were like really good. I genuinely like talking to these people, even if they're not, you know, like friendly per se afterwards. Like they're friendly on screen, we were chilling, but then afterwards it's like we gone ghost. I get it, I understand not everyone can be friends, but I mean I learned that from another podcaster, but fuck, what was I saying? Sorry.
No, you good, man, you good. You were just saying.
I'm sorry. I don't want to like blue ball you, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Shoot, and then you're like, man, this dude straight up wasted my time. Fuck this dude. He really just wanted me on like a show or something, and like he doesn't upload it. And that's like not the biggest anxiety, but that's in the back of my head, and I genuinely don't want people to think that way.
Yeah, man. I mean, you don't want people to think that way, but like you said earlier, you can't control other people. If that's how they're gonna take it, that's how they're gonna take it. Just know in your heart that that's not what you meant, and I feel like that's the best you can do, kind of thing. I mean, for me personally, the only thing I'd hope is that, you know, if people communicate, like, hey, it's not good today. It only kind of irks me when no one tells me, like, no one gives me a heads up. So I'm sitting in the room, and I do that college rule where, like, you know, after 10 minutes, if the person doesn't show up, well, I can't wait any longer. So it's kind of like, you know, a college professor doesn't show up after 10 minutes. It's like, yo, we bouncing. So yeah, that's how I kind of take it. And I shoot out like, hey, sorry, we missed each other. Here's a link to reschedule if you're still interested. If it happens a couple more times, then I'll kind of feel like I can reach out to other people. And if this person really wanted to get in, then they could reach out to me. Like, I've reached out to them. So at least for a while, it'll make me feel that way, until maybe after a few months, then I can reach out to them again and, you know, see where they're at that point. But yeah, man, I mean, I've had people, I wouldn't say like flake on me, but, you know, things happen. Or I also know it's not easy to do this. Like these conversations that I have with folks, I never expected to be like too crazy, but sometimes they do get crazy, and not everyone's comfortable, you know, opening up that way. So yeah, that's how it is.
Dude, and I appreciate you for this second chance, man. Like, honestly, that whole, you know, the computer shit's unexpected. It kind of bummed me out because it put a hold on my passion. But, you know, shit happens. But dude, I'm ready for this next question. You got me hyped.
All right, man. All right, well, here we go. So before we head to the final stretch, I do this thing called the 34th mantra. I have a few fill in the blanks for you, and you just let me know how they flow. Here we go. First fill in the blank is I am blank.
I am happy. Like that? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I am happy. Second, say it one more time with some indication.
I was confused because, but like, I am happy, or like, I am confident. An affirmation.
Yeah. Second one is I can blank.
I can do it.
I can do it. And last one is I will blank.
I will succeed.
For sure, man. Well, that's pretty much it. And, you know, this way, if you ever need a reminder, you'll have these sound bites for yourself. Eventually, one day, I'm going to be able to edit all my guests. So it's just like, you know, you saying those 3 phrases to yourself. and that'll be like something I could send to you. Just you need to hear it. You got it.
Oh,
But
okay. I don't know if you're gonna add this, but like a while ago, I did like a voice recording of affirmations like that, and I'd like I just put them like while I sleep.
that's what's up, man.
In there, but I stopped doing it.
I mean, you don't need it all the time. I never got to a point where I could record myself, but one of my workout things was I downloaded all these speeches, like self-motivated speeches on YouTube, and then had like a hour and a half long mix. So whenever I would go to the gym, I'd play that shit, and it would be hype, because I know how I feel when I watch it, and then like just having it where I'm actually physically moving is if you haven't tried it, or if anyone out there hasn't tried it, I highly suggest download your favorite speeches and work out to them. You ever heard of the Sunscreen Speech?
I have not.
Okay, man, I'm telling you right now, you watch that speech, and I think it's gonna stick with you for a long time. It's stuck with me ever since I heard it back in high school. But yeah, it's on YouTube. This guy gives advice to a graduating class. It's only about like 3 minutes long. 3 minutes long. But he hits on life's. I think everyone can agree that these are like life's points for sure. Like, so yeah, Sunscreen Speech. I could send it to you on what's it called on through Reddit right now. But yeah, you said your IG, right? Did you follow the 34 Questions IG at all?
I don't think so.
Let me do that right now, actually. Let me follow you, so you got it. So what is it again? You said LM?
Yeah,
Bryan?
and then Bryan Hernandez. Is this gonna be a part of the podcast, or are you gonna clip it out?
I mean, how do you feel about you? Would you not want people to know?
Hey,
Yeah.
It's up to you, dude. Because like
for sure.
when I like starting out, because I had like internet issues, like going through the whole podcast a couple times just to see it go through and make it sound right. It's kind of a pain, but I gotta make the people sound good and make them look good, because like in a way I'm kind of like you. It's about us, but I try to make it more about them, because my podcast is like, hey, this is the guy, or in your screen, this is the guy over here.
I got you.
Like, that's the main course right there. I'm just like the drink.
I got you. Well, I feel you on that. If you ever see like the promotional stuff I do for this, it's I don't try to add my voice. It's always like whatever you're saying, right? Like it's about them. But I mean, you gotta understand too that your podcast is your flavor. It's the way you conversate with people, and I think that's what makes it a part of you as well. Like you're bringing that, and everybody else is just feeding off that. So as much as you giving me my flowers, I want to give you yours too, man. Like,
You and them buttery words, dude. I swear, like you add eyes every now and then. I don't want to be like too open about it and just be like, I just want to hear you talk, because you have certain spices and
yeah, man.
Like the main course thing, you got your own seasonings with your words, and like it hits. It's good, dude. When you said flavor, when you said give you your flowers, I'm like, ooh, this dude.
Hey man, I'm a media consumer. I listen to podcasts, I watch movies, I watch television, I listen to music, I do all, and I think that's what it comes from, is like just that mix of all these things that I'm into. Question for you: you ever watch Ted Lasso? Heard of that show before?
Anything TV or movies? No.
You're not big on it? Nah.
I don't watch TV or movies.
Hey, don't do it. It'll rot your brain. But I was gonna say, there's this line that happened recently in an episode, which is great. After you hear this from me, you're gonna feel like it came from me, but it came from the show. But so this guy, what sucked was he was trying to like tell his dad, like, yo dad, did you see me do this thing, and like I'm in the paper. And the dad's line back to this guy was people say humility is thinking of yourself or thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking less of yourself. And then what the dad was like, what it really means is thinking of yourself less. So either way, you think yourself you're good, you think yourself you're bad. That's not having humility, because you're still thinking about yourself. And I was like, Jesus. sorry, God. But yeah, I mean, that's what what I wanted to share with you. So you could use that in your conversations and people that you talk to. But yeah.
I think I've heard that before. I
mean, maybe the first time I saw it was on this TV show, and that's why I like watching TV. But yeah.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, yes, let's move on to the final stretch. And I honestly forgot if I pressed this button or not, but it's cool. My next question for you, and I think you'll dig this one because you had mentioned it a couple times in the podcast, and it's from my homie Tyrell. Shout out to Tyrell. His question for you is, what's made you happy today?
This podcast, dude. Like, been on a low, just chilling, working, and then, coming on the last hour of work, I'm like, all right, got this podcast, looking forward to it. And then like the thought of my podcast came about, so I was like, maybe this dude will be open to if I'd be on his podcast. And I'm so fucking grateful that you said yes, dude, because you already know about my whole thing with like, blue balls and this, but like this, dude, like getting to talk to you, you're a chill ass dude. Like, I've even said this probably hella times already, like I genuinely wanted you to be like I guess my first guest on the podcast, because hearing you speak, it was just chill homie vibes, and just like having a conversation with you during this whole thing, it's like it took my mind away from it all, and I'm just like, this guy's chill, I like him, down to earth, mellow, different perspectives for sure. And that's what I love about podcasting, is like, and talking to other people, is they have different perspectives, and you can agree on some things or see different viewpoints. And just hearing you and those buttery ass words here and there, like, man, like you genuinely made my day. So I guess you and this podcast, this opportunity in itself has made me happy, even with everything else going on. I mean, it's gonna come back, but just to live in this moment is, usually do. Like, I'm just fucking grateful. So if you ever feel like you've never done anything good in your life, just know you made an impact on my life today. You made me happy, and that's like the biggest fucking blessing there is, aside from your own breath. Because if I weren't breathing, I wouldn't be experiencing this. So, I appreciate you. I'll say 34. I don't know if you want to say your real name.
Nah, people out there know I'm Jan, so don't worry about it. But no, man, I'm appreciative too. Like, I can't thank you enough for just being a part of this. This is I don't know, hopefully one day this will be my life's work. Like people say it all the time, but this is one of those things where, like, I work with the youth during the day, and I hope to continue to work with the youth for the rest of my career. After those 15 jobs in 10 years, I realized what I wanted to do. But besides that, doing this in my free time, or doing this when I can, it really fills my soul. It makes, and we talked about that balance. That's part of it. Like, try to make time for my family, my friends, my partner, and like this podcast and my job. Like, that's my life right now. And yeah, thank you for being a part of it.
Love that, dude.
For sure. And for yourself and anybody else out there, I'm not somebody to look up to, but if you're ever wondering why this is what I'm doing and why it looks like I got shit figured out, is because of that feeling of my life being complete, for now at least. But yeah, so next question for you is, what would you like to ask the next guest that comes on to 34 Questions?
Oh, that's a good question. So this one might be a bit too hardcore, but I've asked myself this is have you lived out the life you want? Like, if you were to accept death in the next if you were to accept death after rethinking about your whole life, are you satisfied with the life that you've lived?
I got you. And let me answer this one for you, because it is something I've thought about too. And maybe before this podcast, I would have said no. Like, I never got a chance to do it. But now that I've done at least a handful of episodes with this podcast, if I was going to die, I would really feel okay. I wouldn't, like, obviously there's a lot more that I'd want to do, but to accept it, like, if my death meant it was gonna save some other people's lives, for sure, I'm like, I don't have anything else. Like, what I've done, and I don't think, since you don't watch the media, I'm pretty sure you haven't seen Soul, right? So yeah, real quick about that, it's this guy who passes away by accident, and right after he gets his big shot, they're like, yo, we want you to be a part of this concert, and he's like, oh shit, and then he dies. So he's in the afterlife, and he's like, yo, I need to get back, like, I finally got my shot. Fast forward to the end, he comes back to life and, like, is able to do his shot, but then he realizes he's still not fulfilled. He's like, yo, that was it? Like, that was his reaction to it. Was like, and I don't know, for him, he ended up choosing death again, and was like, yo, like, I went back, got my shot, and it didn't really fulfill me. And so and he realized everything else he did in his life was the stuff that really fulfilled him. He just didn't appreciate it or didn't notice it until he finally got the shot that he wanted, and it didn't compare to what he was already doing. So yeah, so something like that, at least for me, is that this is my shot. I feel like I'm doing it, and if it ends here, at least I've done it. So yeah, and like, I think a piece of me would live on in all these episodes too, like my guests. And yeah, I think, yeah, that's how I would answer that question. But
so cool, man. I love that. That's, oh man, that genuinely wants me to, like, tears of joy. Sorry, my words were weird, but tears of joy for sure, man. That was nice. You said it was called Soul?
Soul. Soul.
Oh, that's that Pixar movie, right?
Yeah, it's that Pixar movie. That's what it's about, bro. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's great, man. It's great. That's why, like, I know you're not into it, but if you ever need, if you ever need, like, stuff like that, I got plenty of stuff to recommend to you, because that's the kind of shit, that's the kind of media that I really enjoy. But yeah, all right, man. Well, my last question for you, the question that ties everything together, is generations from now, 100, maybe 200 years, your descendants are watching this video. What would you like to tell them?
It would just be you. Always be you. My current saying now, since I'm in, like, this low vibe, it's like, it's like, keep it G, keep it me, keep that positivity, because it's the way it's supposed to be.
I like that, man. You meant for that to rhyme?
Yeah, dude.
All right, for sure. Yeah, well, I can dig it. Any last things you'd like to add before we head out of here? Remind the folks where they can find you and perhaps check out your podcast.
I mean, just go to my Instagram. The link to the podcast is there. Against, like, LM, because I couldn't get I'm LM Bryan Hernandez, BryanHernandez. That's my that's where you can get a hold of me and all that. That's where you can find me and podcasts, and yeah, dude, that's all I got.
Hey, that's where they can find your story, right? Or, like, keep up with you so that they can see your story grow. Hopefully that's how we see our own social medias. But you know, I got my whole nother spiel about social media we could get to at a different time. Want to thank you again, sir, for stopping by. Glad to have you on, at least mine, and I am looking forward to the day we can get on yours as well. But no worries, no rush. You know how to reach me, and at least now I feel like you're comfortable with us having a conversation. But yeah, thank you, and thank you all to the folks who are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. I appreciate you guys as well. Remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace. And so this is my like after credit scene. How was that for you? Just like this is, I mean, you've given me tons of feedback, and I definitely appreciate it. But anything you feel like, you know, you would have enjoyed better, or I could have done better?
Honestly, dude, shoot, I should do that on my podcast. That's good. I'm gonna jot that down, actually.
Go for it. Feel free to use any of the questions either like that you came across.
Honestly, you're making me like starting to be okay with like getting you on the podcast, even if I'm not able to upload it anytime soon. Like I genuinely do want to get you on the podcast. I can't find my fucking.
You're fine. You're good. Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna still be nervous when we get on my podcast, because like when we're in the flow of things, it's natural, it's nice, and I genuinely felt like I was talking to you, not the camera. Because like, I don't know, there's just something about you that I could connect with. I guess like how you said, it's the psychedelic usage.
It's just one of the things, but I'm sure it helps. But yeah.
But dude, honestly, like I genuinely